Thanks, Dante. Welcome, everybody. It's great to see familiar faces and other folks. Just want to shout back at Dante that in many ways, a number of years ago, he dragged me back in by asking that I work on a project with him, which is actually how I got to know Zarna better and a number of other folks who are on this call. So there's a lot of mutual mentorship that goes on in these communities, and I would say FTP is one of those. I am, at the moment, the longest serving board member who's not an organizer on FTP for the people. I want to shout out, though, to Annette Klepstein and Sue Kay, who were also on the board for 2 years and are instrumental in getting this organization up and running. And the two new board members who are filling their spaces in their own unique ways are Dante, who you just heard from, and Susan, who you will hear from later. And one of the things about this time, and as Dante said, we're adapting as we go, is FTP has been adapting and learning as we go. But I want to remind people, or tell people if you don't already know, a little bit about FTP, just to ground us again before we move into sharing. So 3.5 years ago or so, the organizers for the people who were not for the people yet had an experience with them and some other organizers, specifically organizers of color, where they didn't feel like, and they weren't being heard. They weren't being respected by the organization they were working with, and came together to think about what a true collective that centered people of color, that listened and trusted and respected the work and didn't try to control it would look like. And out of that conversation was the beginning of For the People. A number of us came on as the board, and really the organization has been for the last 3 years about making sure that organizers, Zarna, Derek, and Antonio, who are doing amazing work around justice, social justice in their own way, and you're going to hear from them a little bit, are supported. And supported not just by the board, but by all of us. That our understanding is that the changes that we need in our society require people with expertise and experience and dedication and integrity to step up and do the organizing, but they also need to live. They also need to pay bills. They also need to deal with all the things that we all deal with. And in a truly supportive community, which is what For the People has become, that support is centered in a stable and a safe platform that we've created so people can donate through 501c3 status to support them. And our goal continues to be that they will not just survive, but that they will thrive in doing that. And that means that not just barely making ends meet, but also feeling the support and love of all of us. Part of the way that FTP has designed itself is to be accountable to each other. We take accountability really seriously. And I would encourage those of you who haven't looked at that document that's on our website to take a look at it, because what it means is that we, the organizers themselves, are accountable to each other. They're accountable to the board, and the board is accountable to them. They are accountable to the communities they are working in and to the larger For the People community in ways that, again, are about centering those who are impacted, listening and trusting our organizers to know what is right in consultation with those communities, not trying to second guess people, but listening. And if there are issues that come up, reflecting back, taking the time, learning more, leaning in as we need to. The final thing I want to say is that a critical part has been learning how to take care of selves. So self-care is built into our agreement with our organizers, which means even though they're trying to go 24/7, that they take breaks, that they replenish themselves and try to be an example to the rest of us to do the same. So part of this evening is in fact about self-care, but it's about community care and what that looks like, particularly now in the midst of the pandemics that we're dealing with. And it's also about looking forward to the projects that our organizers are working on and are going to continue to work on, and other ways that we are trying to stretch and learn. I think Derek's going to talk a little bit about a new project that we're working on for the people in collaboration that deals with student debt of people. So I am going to pass this back. But again, I want to welcome you all, encourage you all to lean in as that supportive community so that we can build and grow and support the organizers we have and all of each other. And I'm going to pass it back to Dante.